Alright, welcome to the second ever episode of Politicopia. Tonight we have the counts that count. Tonight's guest is going to be Count Wiegand from Kairos. So, y'all know me. I am the Samurai Cat. And today, like I said, here is Count Wiegand. Count Wiegand, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
Hello everybody, my name is Count Albrecht von Wiegand, and I'm under the Kingdom of Kairos in the Royal Duchy.
Awesome. So, back in the day when the count packages were first announced, they were rather expensive. What led you to decide that the game would be worth that kind of investment when there's not very much that is playable at the moment?
What led me to think that it would be a good investment was the fact that I did have a good friend of mine that also pledged at the count level, and really, he showed me this game and said, you know, I think you'd really like this. And after doing some research, I've always enjoyed games that were focused on player freedom and taking a more hands-off approach when it came to the story, letting everyone else get to decide. And at the time, I was actually only pledged at the lowest level just to get the base game. But after a few more days, I got an itch at the back of my head saying, no, go to the count level, you know, be involved more with the story, you know, get to really control something and feel a part of that story in a more of a governance position instead of the position of an adventurer.
Okay, so would you say that your county is presently recruiting things like barons, mayors, and citizens? And if so, what avenue were you looking for additional people for?
I am currently looking for more barons, mayors, and citizens. I have only got 2 barons slash mayors. They're both undecided on if they'd like to start, what kind of settlement they'd like to start at. And avenue mostly for recruitment right now has been the forums and the Kairos sort of Discord, you know, inner chat amongst the citizens and bears to try to draw them towards me.
Okay, and what kind of focus are you looking at for your county? Like, are you going to be a military county, or what's your overall goal at this moment?
My overall goal after recruitment, with what limited information we have from the game, is going to be focused more on alchemy, technology, machinery, like the sciences and advancement of sciences to help better the community and the kingdom and the whole world as a whole, hopefully, within the game.
So speaking of machinery, what would be like your dream invention as far as machinery is concerned to come out of your county?
A dream invention, probably, as maybe as a long shot as it is. I know we saw some snippets of the glider, maybe some form of rudimentary airship or a water wheel, because I think a water wheel especially would be very practical in a way to provide power, and I'm not sure if that's what would be in the game at launch. I believe it would not be, and that would be a total game changer. You now have the ability to mill wheat efficiently and provide any kind of mechanical power.
Yeah, definitely a good invention. So since you were saying that you see yourself as like an inventor's haven, would you then consider that to be like your main export?
I think yes, that is the hope, to be the main export, to be able to send out these inventions and technology to the rest of the kingdom so that other areas could take advantage of that and, you know, send it to any of the other kingdoms so that they could also use it. And I will also say that with any resources that I find in my county, I don't want to limit myself too much into that sort of field, so that if there is an important resource, we don't just let it go by the wayside. I would like to use other resources, but I would see inventions as, yes, the prime export that my county will have.
Excellent. So, in your opinion, what kind of influence do you foresee your county having on your chosen duchy?
right now, I would like to see it as, you know, a place where a lot of people can come to learn new skills, almost like the fair in France, where, you know, and then New York, where many different new inventions would be shown off, and you could marvel at this new technology. Maybe there's a brilliant inventor among my population. He wants to come through, show off his invention, and then many others from around the duchy, or maybe even the kingdom and world, come to this and see, look at all these great advances that are happening here. I want whatever this is, and then start seeing a cash flow from that.
Okay, so would that kind of be like a goal of yours to have like a World's Fair at your county every, say, game year?
I think that would be a nice goal, which it would take a lot of work to obtain that, but I think that would be a nice personal goal of mine, yes, to have a World's Expo.
Nice. Have you given much thought to the direction that you see your heirs taking over your county? Are they going to continue with the same path, or are they going to forge their own?
With my heirs, I think I would like to see to, you know, follow in Daddy's footsteps or Mommy's footsteps, so to speak. But I think at one point it would be nice to sort of diverge from that set path of adventure. Maybe, you know, go do adventuring for a few of the heirs, you know, experience something else that the world has to offer.
Yeah, one of the things that I found personally fascinating about like how they're handling, say, legendary weapons and so forth, is how it is done through the actions of the players. So what has you like absolutely tickled pink that you want to see like one of your inventions, say like the airship, for example? Would you want to see it as like a dragon slayer or something like that?
I think that would be very nice to see, but I like to think more, not tooting my own horn, but like more practical. I would like to see it, maybe it's more suited for exploring the known world and recovering any items, but also what those technologies offer is expansions of that. Like, you can then, yes, you would make the one that is the dragon killer, yeah, which would be awesome to see.
Yeah. Have you, so like so far we've seen some rather unprecedented politics and maneuvering in between different like classes of nobility. What's your viewpoint on that from the count level?
So sort of like what I think of how the politics are coming out and how that affects the count level?
Yeah, and basically, like, I mean, we haven't had anything that we could really touch with this game, and yet already we have Eve level politics going back and forth. So I was wondering what your view is from a count level on that.
I would say from a count level that the politics, at least that concern me the most, is that of the duchy I'm in, which by extension, if the king, says something's going to happen, that's important. But I think counts, in my point especially, I'm more worried about what's going on in my county and my surrounding area, and I think at the highest level of politics, counts should keep a passing glance to it, know what's actually happening in the grand political scheme of things, but I think you should also be more worried about what's going on in your county, the politics of counties in your duchy, and the politics of your duchy, because that's what's going to impact you the most, I feel.
What kind of influence do you see the counts having on the upper class of nobility?
I see counts, especially from a count to duke standpoint. I feel that we're important in the sense that we are the duchy's source of main revenue, so I think that we will play an important role, especially to a duke level, if maybe if 5 counties maybe start having some form of financial crisis, that's important. And if the Duke passes a law, that affects all of us. So I think we would have good input. But when you get to the kingdom level, I feel as if 1 or 2 or even 3 counts, go to the king. In reality, as harsh as it sounds, we're not at that political level, nor do I think only a few of us really should be, because the king has many things on his mind that are all at the grandest scheme, and we're there to help him on a micro scale to help manage it. But that won't be to say, 5 counts go to him or 6, and that's when it starts to get more important, I would say.
Okay, how do you see interborder relations going on? Like, for example, if one of your neighbor counties that happens to be under the same duke decides to write a fake casus belli against you, how would you foresee yourself handling a situation like that?
I think the best course of action would be, if they are fabricating a fake casus belli against me, and I would learn of it, I wouldn't want a knee-jerk reaction. I wouldn't just say, all of the military force in my county, go attack the other count. I don't think that's a smart way of handling things. I think I would like to go to the Duke, even, take it a step higher in the nobility ladder and say, hey, this is my neighbor, I've seen this happening, he's fabricating casus belli to try to invade my land. What do you think would be the best course of action? And I think at first it should be information gathering and talking to that other count and saying, hey, I see you're doing this. And say it is proven that, yes, he was forging a fake casus belli against me, there's a reason he's doing that. We should find out what that is and try to reconcile any issues that could be there, if there is any, besides just, no, I want your land because I want to be bigger. But I think it will always be important to take it to the next highest level, I feel.
Okay. So since you are recruiting for your county at the moment, what's the best way for people to contact you?
Right now, the best way to contact me would be through a private message through Discord or through joining my Discord channel.
All right, and we will have those links for you guys down in the description below. Count Wiegand, I want to thank you for joining us for tonight's episode of Politicopia. Do you have any closing statements or any ideas that you want to pass out there before we close things up?
Just a little small one that if you are in these positions of political power, always value those that are under you, such as from a count level, always value your mayors, barons, and citizens, because, without them, your county is nothing but empty buildings and unsoiled fields.
An excellent point. So, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight's episode of Politicopia. You'll find a link for subscriptions down here, and you'll find that we've got 2 additional videos up here to the left and to the right for you to click on and enjoy. Next episode of Politicopia, unless something major happens, will be on Wednesday. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.